is high-speed transportation. It's more than 3 times faster than Japan's Shinkansen's bullet trains and even faster than Boeing 747. First of all, we need to know what is a Hyperloop and everything you need to know about the race for the super fast travel. Hyperloop is a new form of ground transport currently in development by a number of companies. It could see passengers traveling at over 700 miles an hour in floating pod which races along inside giant low pressure tubes, either above or below the ground. There are two main differences between a Hyperloop and traditional rail. First, the pods carrying the passengers travel through tubes or tunnels from which most of the air has been removed to reduce the friction. This should allow the pods to move up to 750 miles per hour. Secondly, rather than using wheels like a train or a car, the pods are designed to float on the air skies using the same basic idea as an air hockey table or use magnetic levitation to reduce the friction. Supporters argue that Hyperloop could be cheaper and faster than train or a car and cheaper and less polluting than the air travel. They claim that it's also quicker and cheaper to build than traditional high-speed rails. Hyperloop could be therefore used to take the pressure off the gridlocked roads, making the travel between the cities easier and potentially unlocking major economic benefits as a result. This will take 29 minutes from New York to DC and 30 minutes from LA to San Francisco. Companies from all around the world have been developing and testing this technology needed to propel the passengers and propel the speed of over 1000 kilometers. But just speed we take for granted, it's network effects that open the space for economic opportunities.
Name's Alan James.
And as far as I know, I'm the only guy on the planet who's written a government-level business case for 300 kmh conventional high-speed rail, 500 kmh maglev and 1000 kmh Hyperloop. It's fundamentally about moving people from where they are to where they want to go, when they want to make those journeys, and doing it in much smaller numbers. So pod designs for Hyperloop range from 12 to 28 seats typically. Why are they small? It's because small enables the network to operate flexibly. And a great example of that is the east-west strategic route across the north of England, from Liverpool to Manchester to Leeds. So to get from Liverpool via Manchester to Leeds by train is just short of 2 hours today. It'll probably take you 2 hours driving as well in average traffic conditions. Net result is those three city regions remain three separate entities: Liverpool, Manchester, Leeds. There's very little commuting traffic between those urban areas. Hyperloop absolutely changes that from the ground up. Liverpool to Manchester is a 5 or 6 minute journey. Manchester to Leeds is also a 5 or 6 minute journey. What that effectively does is create a single super city economy.
In this vision, the Hyperloop is acting like a highway where the pods have fixed destination and don't need to move to stop, and the way, as you can say, like moving from Liverpool to Leeds, while the pod behind you is moving from Liverpool to Manchester.
I have a name for it, which is called the Hyperloop.
The Hyperloop?
Hyperloop, yeah.
In 2013, while riding the success of SpaceX and Tesla, Elon Musk released a white paper of this technology he called as Hyperloop. The basic idea of this tube is it reduces the air pressure to the near vacuum-like environment. Then a Hyperloop pod is suspended in tube usually by a magnetic levitation, and the whole pod can be propelled forward because there is no traditional frictional resources like air resistance or rolling friction that will not act as no contact and nothing will be. pushed back by the pod. This is what makes the Hyperloop move at efficiently very high speed and do as efficient as possible. In the Musk's model, the pressure of the air inside the Hyperloop tube is about 1/6 of the pressure of the atmosphere on the Mars. This means an operating pressure of 100 pascals, which reduces the drag force of the air by 1000 times relative to the sea level condition and would be equivalent to the flying above 150,000 feet. The idea of using low pressure or vacuum tubes as a part of transport system has a long heritage. The Crystal Palace pneumatic railway used air pressure to push a wagon uphill and a vacuum to drag it back down, way back in Victorian South London in 1864. Similar systems use pneumatic tubes to send email and packages between buildings have been in use since the late 19th century and can still be seen in supermarkets and banks to move money around today. One clear predecessor of Hyperloop is VacTrain, the concept developed by Robert Goddard early in 20th century. Since then, many smaller ideas have been proposed. Well, it will take another billionaire industrialist who can take this step ahead. Elon Musk has already developed and made a company called the Boeing Company. Another billionaire has also shown interest in this project. Richard Branson has already developed, invested and largely invested in the company called Hyperloop One, and it would be renamed as Virgin Hyperloop. Josh Giegel, the company's CEO, has already spoken that he wants to make this technology real not in next 20 years but in next couple of years. The company Virgin Hyperloop One has already tested its first successful attempt. The Virgin Hyperloop has a large-scale testing facility outside of Las Vegas. They have started building the testing facility in 2016 and have done over 500 tests in over last 5 years, and their CEO has said that they want to take this technology further, commercialize this more, show that this could be commercial and drive the cost down and improve the efficiency. To improve the efficiency and performance, and the most important thing, to make it available to each individual.
Take that technology, show that it can be commercial, so drive the cost down, improve the efficiency, improve the performance. But the key thing is actually making it approachable and safe for individuals.
Josh Giegel and head PF Passenger Experience Sawa have already experienced this technology. Though the test was of 20 seconds, but this has definitely made a big step in coming years to come.
Yes!
That was so good!
It was.
Any conclusion to be declared at this moment is really challenging at this stage, as Hyperloop is fast, yes, but for the point-to-point travel, other trains can move fast as well, like the Maglev trains can move fast as well. And outside the South Korea, Japan and China, these trains have also not adopted due to the high cost and questionable profitability. Although Hyperloop companies demand and prospect, according to them, they will reduce stoppage journeys and will make you reach your destination without any single stoppage, as there would be different network connected for each stoppage. Example of already shown of Leeds, Manchester and Liverpool. Lane switching is one of the most important things for the train to move, and it requires lot of traditional rail requires physical movement of rail. Even modern magnetic levitation tracks use lane switching techniques in order to transfer rail from one track to another. This creates an unsafe environment for the train behind you and sometimes increases cost of the lanes by driving many lanes for switching of the train. But Hyperloop companies demand and say that the swift movement of the Hyperloop, and due to its size, more than one Hyperloop can move on a lane without reducing speed, just like a highway. Critics of Hyperloop have also warned that traveling in a tube might be an uncomfortable experience due to nausea-inducing acceleration plus the lateral g-force on bends is in the route. However, Virgin Hyperloop One says that the journey via Hyperloop will feel about the same as riding an elevator or a passenger plane. Traveling in a concrete pipe in a windowless pod means there isn't going to be much to look at. Musk's original vision said that beautiful landscape will be displayed in the cabin and each passenger will have access to their own personal entertainment systems. From LA to San Francisco, Hyperloop that Musk envisioned, he came up with a price tag under $6 billion. Musk envisioned that LA to San Francisco journey time of half an hour with pod departures every 30 seconds, each carrying 28 passengers, spreading the capital cost over 20 years and adding in operational cost. For a one-way ticket on the passenger Hyperloop, the cost of building is definitely daunting, but many experts believe that how do we face it will completely change the investment.